Hello, and welcome to today's live stream. I'm just getting everything set up here. Got to bring up my phone to make sure I can watch the chat. Hi, Gavin. How are you? Gavin says, I think it's only me. He says, good. Says I've got 3 on so far. I am doing excellent. Just going to get my camera set up. Hi, Jessica. All right. I think that looks about right. I can adjust my desk a little bit to kind of place it how I want. All right, I've got my little live stream chart here. I know I sent that out to some people, put it on my Facebook and all that. But I just kind of wanted to have a schedule because I know a lot of people were missing some of my live streams. And I don't want to quite commit to like, oh, every Thursday I'm going to do this at 8, but I thought I could at least commit for like a week. Gavin asks, where did you get the pin? I got the 3D pin from Amazon. Hi, Cow. How are you? So I'm going to get this out of the way. This is also posted in the community tab if anybody hasn't seen it. So I've been doing some research with the 3D pen, and I'm ready to give it another try. I did a live stream. Oh, it wasn't last week, so only the week before. And I made this little monster guy. And then before that, this is the first thing I did in the demonstration video. And I made this little nightlight monster. And he's got polymer clay teeth and like eyes that they're used in plush. Ms. says, good morning, or whatever 3 a.m. can be called. Good morning, Ms. So I'm going to set these guys aside. Now, when I did the 3D pen video last time, it was pretty intimidating because, as you can see, that's all I've done is 3 things. And I've watched some videos before, and I kind of got some ideas of what I was going to do. But then when I was making my last monster, it just wasn't quite going how I was hoping. And I've seen some incredible creations, and I'm like, I've got to step it up. I've got to do something different. And so I watched some more videos and I learned some things. I don't think, this isn't going to be a masterpiece. This is still a learning process, but I think this will be a step up from what I've done before. Gavin says it's 9:03 where I'm at. Is it 9:03 at night or in the mornings? So I want to see, I got to get my pen out of sleep mode now. And then, of course, I have to get back up to temp. I tried to have everything ready. Gavin says night. So I'm guessing if you're in the U.S., you're more towards the East Coast. I'm in the middle, so. So I was going to buy some more filament to start making things a certain color that I wanted, but kind of told myself I'm not going to buy any more supplies until I kind of go through, and especially with this stuff, I want to make sure I use up what I have, get the practice before I jump into something and spend more money. Because I've had my 3D pen for over a year, and I still haven't used all the filament I got for it. Kevin says there's this channel that fixes stuff out in the public, but sadly I can't tell you because the title's in Chinese. If you go to their channel, you can click share it, and you can copy the link, and you can send it to me in Instagram or whatever. This had a little bit of filament left in it, so I'm going to run that out. That's going to be good enough. Again, I'm not worried about this thing being all one color, but I'm going to start with translucent colors, and then if I have to put some other colors over it, hopefully it has a neat effect. I messaged my son earlier if he had any ideas. He did mention an alien or a hound, so I'm going to go with an alien. I don't know if he means alien from Aliens, but I'm just going to do an alien, kind of my own little alien, because I'm not quite good enough to, or proficient enough to do an alien. So I'm going to start with a basic shape for my monster. So I'm just going to do just a little guy. I've got these glass pieces here, or is it going to be the eyes? This is going to kind of be a very basic shape for my little alien. A lot of them I see they use a printout and they kind of trace around it, but then build it up. It's very interesting, and I've learned a lot watching videos this week. So I'm just going to thicken this up a little bit. And I also need to get some more practice so I can kind of go at the, a consistent speed, or know what speeds to apply this. Like that's going all over, but I can trim it. All right. I'm going to make little things so I can wrap some filament around to make some little arms, just small little arms. And then I'm thinking he's going to have like a little face right here. I'm hoping, yeah, so he'll have some big alien eyes. Kind of looks like a Pac-Man ghost almost. But he'll have arms and actual feet or legs. Little stubby legs here. But that should give me a general look for him. So, should have a plastic knife that should help cut this off. And keep that all in one piece. So there's my framework for my little alien guy. I'm just going to set that up there. Now I have an outline on my wax paper, so it gives me an idea how big it's going to be. What I want to do is I basically want to make like a rib cage. So I'm going to oval it out. And I've got some excess filament that comes out. If you've ever used a glue gun, these things are very similar to that. It's just plastic instead of glue that comes out, and it's in a smaller stream. So let's see if I can do some ovals here. But the one I watched, yeah, these are sticking together. The one I watched, I believe it's a she. They don't ever show a face, and she's from Korea, I believe. But she does have subtitles on her, English subtitles for me on her channel, so that's helpful. But she made a shark, and she did the side view with the outline of the shark and then built up like a rib cage, but basically all the way around. Jessica says, I always burn myself using a hot glue gun. Oh no. Yeah, I haven't had too much issues. I've definitely poked myself with this. I've burned myself more with the heat gun doing Warbler than I have with this guy. I'm going to make this a little bit wider. So I want to do several of these, but they're going to have to vary a little bit as they go up and down the body. So let's see if I can just kind of match it up with my outline here. We'll see how this works. So how is everybody doing tonight? Everybody staying safe, I hope? Gavin says, when I use a hot glue gun, I burn myself so many times I kind of get used to it. I could get that. I totally understand that when working with Warbler. Miz says, I've seen a few 3D pin things that's Sandrates did here on YouTube. I don't know who that is. Gavin says, yep, doing good. Jessica says, I'm accident prone. That's why I'm afraid of needle felting. I'm accident prone too, but it's kind of like I'm in the realm of what, where Gavin's at. It's happened so many times. It's like, whatever. And needle felting really, those needles really hurt because they seem to just hit a nerve and it goes all the way up your arm. All right, so let's start with this one. I think it's cooled more. That worked. Actually, we'll switch over. And this is kind of coming out still. Gavin says, I don't know if this is true, but my friend told me that if you go out without a mask, you can get fined because of COVID-19. I haven't heard anything, at least in my state yet. It'll be interesting to know. I mean, we're kind of in the middle and haven't, it's like hitting us later, I guess I should say. We're definitely not immune to it. Mrs. Sandrates, I'm not going to be able to say that name right, is a weird name for her channel. All right, so Kevin says, yeah, America is one of the most affected. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely is. Hi, P-Stuff, how are you? Working on the 3D pen tonight. Just trying to see if I can figure this out a little bit better. Hi, Art with April. April says, so what did I miss? Well, I'm working on a new 3D pen creation, but I've watched some tutorials this week and hoping that helped me a little bit from my last one, but this is still going a little bit awkward. Hi, Tom. Tom says, not in our state, Tennessee, though I'm making our own masks. P-Stuff says, doing good, thinking in 3D is hard. I'm, used to thinking in 3D when I doing sculptures is just, this is a totally different technique. Like going from clay to warble and needle felting, it's all very similar. But the 3D pen, you've really got to build up your framework. I mean, it's definitely, has that aspect of using a pen. It's, you're drawing it out first. But after I did my live stream with my 3D pen before, I really wasn't going to do another live stream with it. It was a little overwhelming because I didn't know what I was doing and I felt pretty uncomfortable doing it with an audience. But you guys always help me work through things, so I thought, well, we'll give it another try. Got this placed and now I've got excess here. Gavin says, I got so bored today that I was fixing the pattern in my mom's blanket. April says, in Iowa, no one wears a mask. Gavin says, by sewing. Miz says, in Sweden, we've been told that most face masks are ineffective and not recommended to be used unless you're already ill and must go out. A lot of people still use various masks. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't wear a mask thinking it's going to necessarily protect you 100% because you have to have a certain level for it to pass through. But it's still going to block stuff, in my opinion. It's kind of like you wear your seatbelt knowing it's going to protect you from some accidents, but not all. All right. That was hot. P-Stuff says, I've been crocheting a lot, did 4 projects in 5 days. Nice. That sounds impressive. Now, crocheting can take time, so. All right. Tom says, mine have filters that filter down to 0.01 microns. It's a little tricky to get this to hold in place. Gavin says when you use masks, they keep in the germs, which keep them closer to your face. Yeah, but I'm thinking like short term, if you're going out somewhere, a mask is going to help you more than not hurt you. But you want to make sure you're not touching the outside of the mask when you come in, otherwise there is no point. Miz says, I saw a man with a military gas mask tonight. That looks scary. All right, so that's my basic framework of this little guy. I'm hoping that's enough to work with. Get my little scraps out of here. So we're just gonna attach around here. I'm going to see what I can use to kind of adjust, because this droops in and I don't want it to. So I need to, now it's going to be cold. So let's see here. I wonder if I can do this way. Make it a little bit thicker. Give myself a little more to work with here when I go to add the layers on the outside. Gavin says, so people say that if you're sick, you put the filter onto your face so you don't make others sick, but if you're not sick, you put the filter on outside so you don't breathe in the germs. Guess I didn't need to read that out loud. That's just for mainly chat, but let's see. April asks, so what is this character supposed to be? I'm making like a little alien. I don't have a definite look for him, but that's what those little glass, like little pebbles are. They're going to be his eyes, or her eyes. I don't have a lot of any particular color filament, so it's going to be a kind of a mixture. So that's pretty much a mess, but I think it's going to work. One thing I saw a lot of people doing that I've been checking out this week with their 3D creations is they use a mini iron, which I'd never seen before, and it looks exactly like it sounds. It's like a metal rod with a little iron on the end that gets hot, and they use that to smooth their 3D sculptures, or their 3D pin sculptures, which I did not get, so I'm not going to be able to do that. But I can still practice getting the basic shapes, and I can always go back to these things and even do a video of, you know, finishing these pieces. They also sand it, which helps a lot too, but they sand it after they smooth it with the mini iron. Yeah, this is kind of a mess. So it is kind of rounded out a little bit, and I'm just going to keep building it up until I am happy with it. Whoa. Come on, buddy. right. And it's like anything else. The more you use it, the better you're going to get with it, understand how it works, and all that good stuff. April says, my character doesn't have arms, is all green and a little pink bow. She has a stubby leg and black eyes. What character is that? Is that a character for a game, a character you drew, a character you sculpted? And you can see here where it messes up and it goes in. I'm not even worried about that. I just go over it again. Because that's all going to be on the inside and covered up. And once it's all done, nobody will be able to see where I made mistakes. So I think that's a okay start to our framework here. And that is April's little alien. So is that an alien you drew, or do you have a sculpture of it? Just curious. All right, so let's see. April says she drew her. Awesome. Go ahead and build up a little bit more in between here. Just keep working it back and forth. Go to the other side. Hope everybody got a chance to watch my video yesterday. It was wasn't a live stream, it was an edited video. Made a base for a T-Rex Funko Pop. I had a lot of fun with that one, so I kind of want to do some more bases for different collectibles. All right, so now I'm going to kind of fill it in more. See how this works to kind of go across this way. Jessica says I saw it. Awesome. And I know people commented on, I can't remember who's commented on it now. I'd have to go back and look. I try to always make sure to reply to all the comments, at least at some point. April says she also has an antenna referring to her alien. It's great. I think I'm going to do a couple antennas on this character once it's done. Or maybe I'll just do one in the middle. I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself, so I'm just going to keep working on this. Trying to mimic what I saw on the tutorials, but it's hard without having, you know, that much experience on it, on how it's going to flow and everything. It's working out pretty well. Anybody else have any other art projects they're working on? April says, my mom and dad got cookies and deli things, so I'll be back. Okay. That's just going to tell me about more art projects. Well, nothing too exciting is going on here. I've just been working on different projects. Kevin says there is this paper dragging that I'm making and you make it out of smaller pieces of paper. I meant dragon. Oh, dragon. Got it. I'd love to see that. Miss says I'm knitting a pair of wrist warmers for my dad. His birthday is tomorrow. Awesome. It's very nice of you, Miss. So, Gavin, is that like a form of origami, or is that something different? Gavin says it's origami. Awesome. I've always wanted to learn how to do that, but I think I've got enough going on right now. And these pieces that have these strings on it, I can kind of trim down when I'm done. Always gets that excess on there, and that's where it's gonna burn you. Oh, Miz says he's always cold after a stroke last year. He turned 77. Wow. Poor guy. Well, hopefully those help him out. The arms aren't exactly how I want them to be, but it'll work for now. Fairly sturdy, so that's good. Not for sure if I can get this back covered with one more layer of this before I have to switch out colors or use up this color. The only bad thing about using this clear filament is, even though it's not, invisible, it's still hard to see, especially when you do it on top of more clear. So hopefully when I switch a color, I can see how it's covering a little bit better. Miz says, I hope so. He's stubborn like a mule and thinks nothing so small might help. Time to prove him wrong. Oh, I totally know the type. Jessica asks, what are the eyes made of? They're just those like melted glass beads. I can't remember what they're called. I know like at Renaissance fairs they call them dragon eyes. So I just have a bunch of them that I got at a little antique store, and I've used them for eyes for other things. I like doing, kind of a mixed media type thing with my sculptures. You are welcome, Jessica. I almost think if this guy, if I'm able to do all translucent colors on him, I should cut a hole in like his back and put an LED in there. Kind of like how my nightlight monster lights up, but he's not even all translucent. This guy might be all translucent. It's definitely kind of lumpy. And I can't tell, you know, a lot of those videos are in, that they show these 3D pins are time lapse, so I can't even tell how much filament they're using on their sculptures. Gavin says, talking about quote unquote disabilities, I am type 1 diabetic. Ms. says, it was at Gavin, but I'm going to read it anyway. One doctor told me I had developed diabetes last year. 2 others say I haven't. It's weird as it's such a serious disease. That is odd. Yeah, I don't know enough about it. But Gavin, I'm hoping you're staying as healthy as you can. And I mean, I hope you all are. Welcome back, April. Still working on the little alien guy. Just building him up. Let's see if I can figure out how to... Oh, used up that filament, so let's grab another one. All right. So I'm just going to feed this in. Still gonna have a little bit of clear still here in the chamber, but that other will push it out. But like I said, we're not worried about the color. I'm not worried about the color in this guy. So I will just start adding to it and see what I can come up with. I'm just gonna go across this leg right now to kind of build it up. And the stuff in between here, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but I'll trim that out too, just like the other little threads that are hanging around on him. Just keep working this pan back and forth, build up the legs on it. April says do yellow. Ms. says it's starting to look like a Pac-Man ghost. Yeah, he's definitely got that Pac-Man ghost shape. As far as the colors, April, I'm just, like I said, just using up what I have. I'm not going to order any filament until I use up all the stuff I have. But for this guy, I just picked all my translucent ones left. So, like I said, he can't really be a solid color. Just gonna finish building up these legs. It's like, what do I talk about while I'm doing the same thing over and over? That's the tricky part with the live stream. I don't want to be boring for you guys. All right. Jessica asks, have you seen anything good on Netflix? What have I watched on Netflix? I've watched some of the old Twilight Zone. I haven't ever seen all of those, so I've been watching that. I know they added, we talked about this before, Onward onto Disney Plus, and I've been thinking about watching that just to make something from it for like an edited video. We watched the newest episode of Masked Singer tonight on Hulu. We did that while we had dinner. Ms. says, I find it relaxing to watch you craft and not boring. Well, thank you, Ms. April says, Onward is so nice. Kevin says, if you see some is, whoa. Gavin's message went away before I read it, so I don't know what that was or if that was a typo. So no biggie. Now I just need to make it so he can stand, so I need to round those out because he's floppy. April says, I cried watching Onward. Kevin says, if you've seen Zumbo's Just Desserts, is amazing. I have not. What is that about? What type of movie, I should say? Oh, I saw that Parasite was added to Hulu. Jessica says, I saw Tiger King on Netflix. It's interesting. Yeah, I've heard a lot of things about it, but I don't know if any of them convinced me to watch it. All right, so these feet, I think I might just have to draw them like onto the mat and bring it out and then build it up. Because I don't know how else to do this. Oh, Gavin says it's not a movie, but it's a baking competition with crazy challenges. Well, that sounds fun. All right, so I'm going to let this sit just for a little bit so we can set up so that I can flip them around and do the other side. It's a good thing about this 3D filament. I mean, it hardens really fast, so it's still somewhat workable to do as a live stream. Jessica says, my husband laughed a lot while watching Tiger King. He is just so crazy. I'd never even heard of that guy before that show's like documentary series or whatever showed up on Netflix. I did get the latest Star Wars movie on Blu-ray this week. I'd already pre-ordered it, so I rewatched that. Or last week. These weeks kind of run together. April says, watch Nailed It. It's about normal people doing a baking competition. It's super fun. Going to build up a little bit from his foot to his body. Give myself something to work on when I take it off here. I want to add more filament. stands. Ms. says, I think I really should try that Netflix thing. I sometimes feel I'm the only one who doesn't have it. Yeah, I've had Netflix for a long time. Back when you mailed the DVDs before I had any streaming. But we have the Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and Disney Plus, which I did the year for that. So I'm kind of, I want to say stuck with it, but I'm gonna obviously have it for a while. It's almost looking like, because he's completely clear here, it's like he's beaming up like out of Star Trek, and it's like forming him. Definitely a learning project. But those are okay. You gotta start somewhere. The question will be on how much detail I try to put into this guy and where to stop with him. Oh, he's standing. That's an accomplishment. He's definitely gonna have some rough areas. Ms. says, I was tricked into a rather pricey cable TV deal, so until November I have 34 channels I barely watch. I hate the salesman. If it sounds too good to be true, it almost always is. Yeah, we got rid of cable years ago, so I mean, we have enough to watch with our streaming services. And we have to have internet for my wife's work, so it's not like, we could get rid of that anyway. And plus I have to have internet for this now. April says its name is SCP-1134. Okay. Gavin took away a message again as I was reading it. Something about watching Netflix. Alrighty. It's something, right? I mean, it's a sculpture. Gavin asks, how much of the live stream will there be? Because I'm going to watch Netflix because I don't want to miss any. I don't know. I don't have a set time, Gavin. I just kind of work on it till I feel like it's done. You know, but I mean, I'll leave the stream up on my channel if you want to check out what you missed, or even, you know, fast forward and just see how he turned out. You know, whatever works for you. I will be back on tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Central Time, so an hour later than it was tonight. And that one's just going to be showing off some of the recent creations, because a lot of times, you know, I have to bake them, and then some of my other art. And I thought maybe, you know, if you guys wanted to even just ask questions or chat or whatever about some of the pieces I show, so it's just kind of a casual art and chat thing. Oh, Gavin says, also the reason I keep deleting messages is because darn autocorrect complete. Yeah, I get that. My wife has a lot of issues with that with her phone, too. She's always complaining, and I don't really know how to help her. But, you know, I appreciate anybody that watches any of my streams, but I don't expect people to watch the whole thing, especially all at once. That's why I just leave it up on my channel, so if people are interested, it's there. But it's weird, if I'm working on art now, it feels like I need to either be streaming or filming it for a video, which isn't a bad thing. It's just I feel, you know, like weird if I can't sit here and chat with people. April says I try to watch it all until the end. Well, thank you, April. But I know everybody's, you know, what's going on is different from everybody and what, you know, works. So, like I said, I just appreciate whatever time people put into my channel, because it all helps it out, and it's means a lot to me. So I appreciate it, guys. Gavin says bye. I'll be back. Bye, Gavin. Enjoy some Netflix. You'll have to let us know what you decide to watch. Just giving some color to them with that, and then I'll probably pick one of the other ones to finish it up. I don't think I'm ever going to fill him in all the way with the way I'm doing this. So I think probably the next color, I'll start adding the facial features and see how that goes. I think I can kind of draw this arm out a little bit onto the wax paper. April says, I just have chores sometimes. I mean, I do, but I refuse to do them because I'm lazy. Gavin says, I'll be gone for only 2 episodes of Zumbo's Just Desserts. All right. That's the thing about doing these projects that I haven't had much experience with. I can't even guesstimate if I'm going to spend, 20 more minutes on it or an hour on it. I kind of work to do that arm that way, though. Give it a little more form. See, this is almost out here, though. Ms. says it's more fun to watch live, and it makes it easier to stay awake because I'm technically working right now. Imagine getting paid $50 an hour to have fun. Well, that doesn't seem fair, Ms. I mean, my art's kind of my job right now, but my YouTube channel's not monetized yet, so this part of it isn't making me any money, but I'm working towards that goal. It's like, these are my college years. Yep, that one ran out, so we're going to let that cool a little bit. feed in. Oh, I'll just go with this for now. April says I was going to watch a YouTube video, but then this popped up. Well, thank you. Thank you for choosing me. I appreciate it. I noticed there is a huge increase in live streams since this whole health crisis started. I subscribe to a lot of channels, so when I bring up my feed, you know, every once in a while there might be 1 or 2 live. Last night there was 6 of them live. I thought that is crazy. Bring out his foot a little bit. There's a little more to stand on. And I think I'm going to make this the front. I know some live streams have multiple cameras, but I think those have to be when you do it from a computer. Because I do all my live streams from my iPad. But I was just thinking it would be neat to have a camera down here too, so you guys could have multiple angles and maybe split them on the screen. But maybe that's, you know, when my channel gets a little bigger and I can afford to upgrade some of my stuff. April says, I only watch your live. Well, I appreciate you watching the live, but I do have a lot of content on my channel if you ever want to look for some of my edited stuff. But if this is what you prefer, I'm always going to do both. Or at least that's my plan as of right now. As long as they both get some views and people are enjoying them, then it's worth it for me to do both. I think the, you know, stringiness of the 3D pen for this guy definitely, you know, works for making a little alien. April says, I prefer watching your live because it's like a conversation. Well, thank you. Yes, it's fun to have it be interactive. It's, you know, I have a lot of fun doing them, which is why I do them. But I also like the creative process of the edited videos. And I think it's cool to do something, you know, like that takes 10 hours and turn it into a 30-minute video or something. Plus, there's a lot of things I can't do live unless I do it in multiple parts, and I don't know how you guys feel about that. Is that something you guys would be interested in? Is if I did, you know, like a 1 week, did one project, and every night worked on it for an hour or 2? Or do you like to see something from beginning to end in one stream? Some popping sounds here with my 3D pen. Just adding some little stringies, build up those arms. April says these are like the only lives I watch and I wouldn't mind. Well, thank you. Trying to figure out how to do these. If I want to heat that up and push that in, I'll probably burn my plastic. As long as I don't start a fire. But I also don't want to squish it down too much. So let's see what I can do. didn't really cause it to stick at all. Well, shoot. I think what I might do is build up like the eyelet area around this, and then see if that'll stick to it, and then I can heat it up and then stick if the plastic will stick to itself. Because I'm thinking these glass beads aren't sticking to the plastic. It's hard to get around here. I'm gonna have to kind of do some weird angles here to build this up. Yeah, I think this should work. That's our first eye done. And build it up around the second eye here. Oh, come on. It's being difficult. All right. Let's see what I can do. Well, let's see. Do not try this at home. But I think that worked. It's not on there real tight, but I'll go back over it with the pen when I get this other eye on there. They're a little off-centered, but I think if I build it up a little bit more to one side, it'll be okay. Just get this nice and hot. Wedge that other eye on there. Look at him. Looks like he needs a hug too. Some of my other monsters, they're always reaching out. They just want to be loved. So come on, guys. Life's hard. I'm just going to build this up, fill this in around the eye. Ms. says hugs for everyone. Absolutely. Except for right now, we're social distancing. Ms. says, okay, virtual hugs. Just adding some more of this one here to kind of blend everything together. Definitely going to need some more on the backside too. Need to build up this head though. All right, Mrs. Get Deep. She says this could be like you know, emotional. This could be ghostly alien memory of times gone by when humans hugged freely and fearlessly. Oh yes, the memory of the hugs. It is only alien to us now. I think he's getting there. What do you guys think of him so far? I'll bring him up there. Miss says his eyes look into my soul. He's like, hello. I think I need to bring his arms out a little bit more though if he's going to be a hugger. Curve him a little bit. It's getting stringy on me here. That didn't work as planned. Miss says, I feel my spelling slipping. Guess I'm a bit tired despite the coffee. I totally understand that. My spelling slips even when I'm not tired. April says if you put an LED in him, it'll make pretty colors. Yeah, I think it'll look good. Oh, I think he's an improvement over what I've done before. So, I mean, I think that's what I've got to be happy with. It's not to the level I want to be at yet, but, you know, I wasn't going to expect to after doing the, you know, just my fourth piece with 3D pen. It says, I counted, it's been over 41 years since my first English lesson. I should be better at it. No, I should be better at it too, but it's okay. I think you do pretty darn good. Miss says, I have turned lazy with spell checking, Google, and Dutch. Correction, such. I was going to read it as you said it until you corrected yourself. Or read it as you meant it, I should say, until you corrected yourself. Oh, I need to do some antennae. So let me try those. Got the first one there. Got the second one. Kind of just shape them a little bit. So let's see if I can get these attached. Trying to get everything held in place and get this pin in position. Now I'm just trying to get some filament there at the base so they can kind of merge these two. Oh, that was almost bad. He almost went for a stumble. Kind of like that. A little antennae. I think I'll go ahead and get the other one attached, and then I'll probably just cover them until I'm out of this filament. Just build them up some. So I just kind of try to line it up. This one's just a little bit off center. So hopefully that's about right. And this guy's definitely not symmetrical, but I want it to be somewhat. So I'm just going to goop it up at the base there, let it cool. I'm going to add some more here, so it's a little sturdier. what do you guys think so far? I know he's a little wonky. He's got some stuff hanging on him. I hate wasting even like little scraps because I never have to do that with clay and Worbla and needle felt. So if I can ever come up with something to do with this stuff. April says cute. He cute. Jessica says cute. Thank you. I'm definitely happier with him than my last three. I don't know if he really needs any more. I don't think he really needs a mouth. I think it makes him more alien-like if he doesn't. Yep, Ms. says, you know what they say, practice makes perfect. Yep, I totally agree with that statement. That's why I always end everything, never stop creating. That's, you know, even if it's the same thing over and over again. Just glad you guys could hang out with me while I try to improve myself with my 3D pen. Kind of bummed Kujin wasn't on. I know he's enjoyed some of my 3D pen stuff before. Jessica asks, are you going to put a light in them? I think I'm going to try. I might be able to put it in the back here. I have those little LEDs. And I think it would work to put it in there and light them up. And if I do, I'll show them on one of my like Art with Andrew videos. April says suggestion wings. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to spend, that would take a while. I don't think I'm going to spend that much more time on him. Then he'd probably look more bug-like, bug alien, which would still be cute. I do want to make some wings so I can add them to my, so clay wings and pre-bake them so I can add them to my Let's Make a Monster live stream on Sunday. I don't know if I'll have them ready for this one, but you know, for the Sunday videos. Yeah, so I'll trim them up and see if I can come up with a way without destroying them to add a little light. Let's just build them up a little bit. Miz says, I think he could be cool with wings, but he's got this hugging thing going on, so I don't think he needs wings too. Yeah, and I think wings with a 3D pen would be cool to do because I could make them flat, and then they would harden, you know, fairly quickly, and then I could add them to something. So maybe my next 3D pen project, I'll do something with wings. I could do some kind of butterfly monster or something. So I do appreciate the suggestion. Gavin asked, did I miss anything? Just finishing up this little guy. Got the eyes added, bulked him up, added some antennae. What do you think, Gavin? Be brutally honest. I can take it. I know he's not perfect. filament's almost done. So I'm just going to finish it up here. Art with April says, hey, remember that phone holder thing? Yes. It says the color shift looks really cool. Is this glow in the dark filaments or just pastel? I think they're just like a translucent like pastel. Gavin asked, did I miss anything? Yep, I'm just going to show you where he's at. So just about done. Just going, yep. Now this color just ran out, so that's where I think we're going to stop with this guy. Let's trim off his stringies. This plastic's like pretty hard, and I always think it's gonna like crack, like it's brittle, but it's not. I haven't had too much issues when I trim it. I thought it was gonna be going into it. All right, guys. Still got some, but I'm gonna stop there. Okay, not gonna stop there because that one's bothering me. All right, well, thank you so much for tuning in tonight and watching me make this little alien with my 3D pen. I greatly appreciate it. Gavin says the only thing bad about live streaming is that when you leave, you are not where the live stream is at when you left off. Yes. Yep. I've had that happen too. I'm like, oh, what did I miss? So anyways, I will be back on for our Andrew's art tomorrow. The difference between that is that I'm just sharing with you some of my completed pieces. A lot of them were finished on live streams, but that way if people didn't catch all the live streams, they could see it. And then I'll have a live stream Saturday morning where I make a little robot. And I'll bring up the little list here as I'm talking. And then on Sunday will be my Let's Make a Monster live stream. And Monday will be a quick look at that monster. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for spending some time with me this evening. I hope everybody is staying safe and healthy. And remember, never stop creating. Bye.